What if the most powerful force in the universe wasn't hidden in a particle accelerator, but inside you? What if love wasn't just a word in poetry or a chemical rush in your brain, but the same invisible glue holding galaxies together? Don Hose believes it is. And this belief didn't come from books or theories or late-night debates. It came from a frozen lake, in a moment where his life almost ended. When he was just a boy, he fell through the ice. One instant, freezing water. The next, silence. No pain, no fear. Only light. Waves of pink and white wrapping around him like a blanket woven from warmth itself. Don says it felt like God. He doesn't remember climbing out, he only remembers breathing again on solid ground, cold returning and running home.
That single moment lit a spark that shaped his entire life. Years later, he searched the Bible for meaning, his eyes drawn to Matthew 6:22. If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. This was the seed of his journey into meditation. Not just mindfulness, but hours spent focusing on the space between his eyebrows, opening what he calls the spiritual third eye. And what he discovered wasn't theory, it was a door. A door to the same light, peace, and overwhelming love he'd felt under that frozen lake. Darius might call this the flow of universal consciousness, the state where awareness and reality dance together. But Don goes further. He says this dance is made of light, and that light is love itself. In this video, we're going to explore Don Holz's quantum view of love, how he connects subatomic particles to the feeling that changes lives, how a near-death experience became the blueprint for a spiritual practice, and why he believes the power of love is greater than the love of power. If you stay until the end, you'll see how fear, love's opposite frequency, might be shaping your reality without you knowing it. So if you're curious about how science, spirituality, and the mystery of human experience weave together, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's hold this note until the very last second. To understand how Don Hose sees love, you have to step far beyond Hallmark cards and romance novels, into the strange, shimmering world of quantum physics. For him, love isn't an emotion floating in your chest, it's woven into the architecture of matter itself. He begins with the gluon, the tiny particle that keeps the atomic nucleus from tearing itself apart. Without it, every atom in your body would collapse. To Don, this is love at the subatomic level, the glue of creation, holding everything together. Darius might frame it as the field that binds all consciousness, the invisible network connecting mind to mind. Don simply points and says, there it is, right in the math.
Then comes the tachyon, a hypothetical particle faster than light, existing more in theory than in labs. Physicists debate if it's even real. Don imagines it as vibrating strings that hum with light, threads of energy so quick they can cross the universe before a heartbeat finishes. In his mind, that's how love travels. Not slowly, not cautiously, but instantaneously. And finally, the most intriguing, the anomalous particle, one that moves according to the consciousness of whoever observes it. This isn't fantasy, it's the observer effect pushed to its limits. Darius would say, the observer creates reality. Don takes a step further. The observer creates because they love.
In his view, the laws of physics are not cold and indifferent. They are intimate, responsive, almost affectionate. Love isn't just something you feel, it's something the universe does. And once you start to see it that way, particles stop being numbers on a chalkboard. They become messengers. They whisper, we are bound together. We move toward each other. This is our nature.
At some point, Don's journey steps off the laboratory floor and into the temple. He begins speaking not just of particles, but of the primordial sound, the vibration said to give birth to all creation. In Eastern traditions, they call it In physics, some call it the background hum of the universe. Don sees no difference. To him, they are the same melody, just sung in different languages.
When Don closes his eyes and focuses on the space between his eyebrows, he says the same light from the frozen lake returns. But now it's not just pink and white. It's a spectrum that hums. A tone you can't hear with your ears, but feel in your bones. This, he says, is love made visible and audible, the highest frequency of light and sound. Darius would describe love as a state of alignment with the whole, a surrender into the intelligence of the cosmos. Don, ever the experimenter, says, I can reproduce it, I can invite you to experience it, and it will change you.
For him, the spiritual and the scientific aren't two worlds. They're the front and back of the same mirror. One reflects numbers, equations, and particles. The other reflects light, vibration, and meaning. And if you turn it just right, they merge into the same image, the image of love as the architecture of reality.
Don doesn't just talk about love as a force. He hands you the key to feel it for yourself. It begins with stillness, not the stillness of a quiet room, but the stillness of a lake at dawn, where even the ripples hold their breath. Close your eyes. Let the world fade.
Now, bring all of your attention to the space between your eyebrows, not as if you're thinking about it, but as if you're standing there, inside it. Imagine a point of light, soft at first, then growing brighter until it pulses like a living star. Breathe into it. Let the warmth spread through your face, your chest, your hands. Darius might guide you toward dissolving your sense of self, letting the boundaries between you and everything else vanish. Don's method is sharper, more precise. He says, hold this focus. Hold it like a tuning fork until the vibration takes over.
And when it does, something shifts. The chatter in your head softens. The air feels different. For Don, this is the same state he touched under the frozen lake. The same light, the same peace, the same unstoppable love. He claims it's not imagination. It's a frequency, one that animals, people, even hostile situations can sense and respond to.
The power of love is greater than the love of power. Don doesn't say it like a slogan. He says it like someone who's seen what happens when fear holds the steering wheel and when love quietly takes it back.
To live in this frequency, he explains, is to reverse the human instinct for control. Not to be passive, but to act from a place so anchored in light that domination becomes irrelevant. Darius might frame it as the dissolving of the self's hunger for authority, the moment you stop trying to bend the universe to your will and instead feel it bending around you in harmony. Don calls it becoming a conductor for a field that reorganizes reality itself, a current that can calm a dangerous confrontation or even change the behavior of a wild animal.
It's not about being nice. It's about being so aligned with the highest frequency that anything out of tune simply can't stay in your presence.
If everything vibrates in light and sound, and if love is the highest of those vibrations, then maybe living is not about chasing success or security, but about learning to hold that single, pure note. And here's the fascinating part. Many people who've had near-death experiences say something changes forever after that moment. Some, like Don, develop a method, a repeatable way to return to that light. Others follow a path more like Darius, dismantling layer after layer of the self until they can feel the raw current of life flowing through everything.
Different techniques, same destination. Because whether you're a physicist chasing the edges of reality or a mystic diving into silence, the pattern is the same. The line between matter and spirit fades, and what remains feels like pure love. Mystics like Rumi have called it the music beneath all things. Einstein spoke of a cosmic religious feeling that drives the most profound scientific minds. And here, Don simply says, it's the architecture of the universe. It's what everything is made of.
So let me ask you, have you ever felt something in a dream, in meditation, in the middle of a crisis that made you question whether the boundary between science and spirituality was even real? And if love is not just a feeling, but the very force that holds everything together, what would change in your life if you truly believed it?
In our next video, we're going to explore love's opposite frequency, fear, how it shapes reality in ways you can't always see, and how, paradoxically, it can push you right out of your own body.
Right now, there are 2 videos on your screen. One will take you deeper into the science behind these invisible forces. The other will pull you further into the mystery of what happens when consciousness steps beyond the body. Choose one and continue your journey.
So stay curious, stay open, and keep holding the note.